Hi, I'm making this video to show you how to make homemade hand-feeding formula for cockatiels. Why would one like to make a formula like this? It's because personally I do live in a country where hand-feeding formula is not sold. So basically if you don't know how to make one, you may be left with nothing and you can't save the bird. So I have come up with this recipe. It would take 3 tablespoons of oats. I use oats because of nutrition properties and also because they are full of fiber. Then I would take half of the corn tortilla. Corn tortilla is a good source of calcium. Then I would use just a piece of celery and some shelled sunflower seeds. Also, I would add some cattle bone. This is a bigger piece just for a show. This is the quantity I would add. I would blend all these ingredients back together until they're smooth and really nice consistency. And you have a formula for the baby bird. So here are all the ingredients in a blender cup with just enough water to blend them all. Try adding water slowly, teaspoon by teaspoon, till you see that it's really blended to a smooth, even substance. Because if you add too much water, the formula will become too runny and then it won't be good for a bird. So as you may see, the formula is just, the water is just on the bottom of the blender cup. This is a final result. This is a formula for hand feeding. It would be good for a day, maximum 2 days, if you just put some sort of lid on top of the glass jar and keep it in the fridge. I usually prepare this formula every day for everyday use, a fresh formula. Now I have like about 1.5 tablespoon of formula in aluminium pot, and I would just turn the heat for a few seconds. There we go. And once the formula is heated, I would just turn off the heat and put it in a syringe and feed the baby. How to hand feed the baby everyone would know, since there are so many videos on internet. Like you see, it starts boiling on the edges, means it's ready. I just turn off the heat and put in a syringe. Also, when feeding a baby chick, the formula should be thick enough, however it should go easily through syringe. If it doesn't, then the formula is too thick. If it's too runny, well, you will see it right away, and then it will be not very beneficial for the chick. So basically, when you heating up the formula, just add just enough water so it can go easily through the syringe tip. Just another thing I wanted to show you. This is how I test the formula if it's too hot or too cold. I know some people would use thermometer, but I don't bother with it because this technique worked well for me. Right now it's just taking the drop, but I would just put a small drop on my wrist, and if it's burning my wrist, means it's too hot. Then I would run syringe under tap water for a few seconds and try again till I get it right. Sometimes it takes up to 1 milliliter of formula for testing before I make sure of the temperature. But once you feed several babies several times, it really becomes very easy and foolproof technique. And like I said, I don't bother with thermometers or anything. It works for me. I never had a crop burn in all these generations of cockatiels I've had. Everything seemed to be fine. That technique is working. Why using the skin on the wrist? As you know, it's the same like if you would feed an infant baby. Of course, the skin on the wrist is more sensitive than, let's say, skin on your fingers. So that's why. If it burns you, means it's too hot and it will burn the crop. I just would like to say that I have raised several generations of cockatiels on this formula. This particular baby, Bubbles, was saved by me from parents who were trying to kill him, since he was the last baby in a clutch and he was left alone in a nest. So when I do feed the babies, I feed them about 4 times a day, and I would never give them more than 10 milliliters of formula at once. I know that some breeders would feed 15 or even 20 milliliters, but I think it's way too much. Also, what I do with babies, I start hand feeding them when they are 7 days old, So basically when we are still blind, I would pull them once a day in the morning while parents having breakfast, and I would give them like 3-4 milliliters of formula each. As they grow, I can increase the quantity. I always do that once a day in the morning till they are fully fledged and till they start coming out of the nest box. When they do come out of the nest box, I just pull them off completely and put them on this formula for about 4 times a day. So far, like I said, I've been successful, and I hope that this will help you also. This formula can also be used as an emergency supply, since ingredients can be found in any grocery store. If you do live in a country where tortillas cannot be found, I know there are some countries where it's not accustomed to eat tortillas, I believe it can be substituted for multigrain, calcium-enriched bread. In the conclusion, I just would like to say that I really do hope that this video were helpful, and it may serve you as emergency food or as a main source of food if you don't have any access to buy the hand feed formula. Thank you for your time, and once again I say good luck, and I hope I've been helpful to you.